It's time for Lockdown, the sequel. So I saw this trending on Twitter last night before I went to bed, and lo and behold, it seems to still be true. The UK may be headed towards another lockdown. By the way, before I get started, again, welcome to Bruce the Boss TV. And please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Again, want to help to make sure that this channel gets exposure, gets out there, and that you are also notified of any recent updates as I'm trying to churn this information out as it's happening, because the revolution will be televised. They can't censor all of us. So again, please want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. And all right, so let's get rolling. So apparently the UK saw the other day increase in cases, a sharp increase in the amount of 2,988, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, they had a sharp increase in cases in the amount of 2,998 cases yesterday, I believe. And so now they may be headed towards another serious lockdown. United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson is set to speak in about 8 more minutes. So that'll be 4 p.m. their time. It's still not even 10 o'clock a.m. Central. So I will do another video after his press conference to see, respond exactly to what he's proposing to do. But I just wanted to speak on just the possibility of what they're going to be enacting. So you're seeing a rise in cases. Now, not to beat a dead horse or to make a stupid argument, but you also are testing more. So I just want to make the argument, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, of those 2,988 cases, that have increased, how many of those are from hospital admissions? Are they 25%, 30%, 50%, 80%? Or all those strictly coming from people being tested, not even sick, don't even know they have it, whatever the case, they just happen to be tested for it for whatever the reason prior to them going back into school, work, X, Y, Z, and it just tested positive. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. But if I'm not mistaken, you're seeing an increase in cases, not hospitalizations, not people actually getting severely ill and sick. So why are you locking down? I mean, and what's the average death in the UK from the COVID-19? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the average death by age is 81, which is right around the same time as the life expectancy. Not to dismiss or be cavalier with the life of the elderly. They should have otherwise be here. We don't want to see any elderly die. But do you really need to lock down and destroy the entire country when you can simply protect the elderly? I mean, look at this chart. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this is a look at who represents the deaths in the United Kingdom from the coronavirus over the last several months. So as we can see, the general population has a 99% survival rate basically from this virus. If you're over 60, that's when the issues really become. And of course, if you have some other pre-existing conditions, cancer, COPD, diabetes, asthma, some serious underlying conditions, and you're morbidly obese, but you're under the age of 60. But otherwise, the general population, do you really need to lock them down from a virus that they're most likely to survive and or get it and not even notice? They'll either be largely asymptomatic or at worst a sore throat that they'll beat. Lockdown isn't even really a strategy. It made sense in the very, very beginning. I suppose not everyone had to do Sweden. Sweden rolled the dice with herd immunity, and I think they got it right. But I get the idea of let's lock down to see what we're dealing with first. Or let's see if we can get rid of it. But once it became apparent that this virus is not going anywhere, a lockdown is not a strategy, because you cannot lock down your entire life. You cannot destroy the economy, and you cannot keep people separated for that long, because there are so many psychological effects that happen when you isolate one human being from another, when you destroy a person's livelihood repeatedly. You're not gonna, this isn't something you can hide from forever and just or destroy. It's here to stay. You have to learn to live with it. And don't even count on the vaccine. When was the last time we've had a coronavirus vaccine? Because keep in mind, COVID-19 is not the only coronavirus in existence. We've had another SARS virus many years ago, and then there's the most common one called the common cold. When was the last time we got a vaccine for any of those? So don't count on an actual vaccine to come anytime too soon. And I wouldn't rush to take the immediate, the one they're trying to rush out now. Lord knows what's in it. And even if there is a vaccine, there's no chance that, there's a very small chance that it'll even really be effective at all. I mean, we have a flu vaccine, and yet tens of thousands of people are reportedly die from the flu or die with flu every single year. Just 2 years ago in the United States, we had anywhere from 60 to 80,000 deaths in the US alone attributed to the flu, and yet there's a vaccine. So what's the point of the lockdown? What's the long-term strategy? If the majority of your population can get the disease without it overwhelming your hospitals, without it overwhelming your healthcare facilities, if the overwhelming majority of people can get it, build an immune system to it, build up the white blood cells needed to fight it and kick it, why do you need to lock them down? Some of the restrictions that I have heard so far do include limiting any gatherings of more than 6 people. If you are in a group of more than 6, you are likely to then be dispersed by the police or face a €3,200 fine. Whatever happened to freedom, the concepts of liberty and personal responsibility, educating the people and giving them the information and trusting them to make the decision that is best for them and their families? Or how about this? You elected officials, listen to the public that you serve. Don't forget, you serve us, you're public servants. We don't serve you. You are not emperors. Even though I know y'all still have kings and queens, or should I say queens and princes, etc. Y'all still glorify that, glamorize, and have that in your society. But you still have elected officials who are supposed to serve the people. Even the royalty are supposed to serve their community. Listen to them and what they want. Why can't people take the information and say, you know what, if I am at risk because of my pre-existing conditions or due to my age and naturally failing health, as an elderly person, for example, I will make the decision to limit my interactions outside, not going out that much, avoiding large crowds. I will wear a mask and or gloves for added protection, reasonable ones too, like an N95, one that actually protects. I will have as much as I can delivered to me. To the grandkids out there, I will not visit my granny or grandpa. I'll call them, I'll face chat or FaceTime, Zoom. To the adults out there who have elderly parents over 60, especially if you do take care of them, make sure you take extra precautions to make sure you're limiting your exposure. You watch out for symptoms. And if you do need to take care of your parents or visit them from time to time, make sure that you socially distance. Don't be around them. Don't be physically close to them too often. If you are fearful that you might have it, make sure you have a mask on, wear gloves, disposable gloves too, that you are changing every time you touch something new, because otherwise you're just spreading the germs that you've touched on the previous gloves to the new item. You just take them and dispose of them if you have to deal with someone who is elderly. And then for the nursing homes, cut off access to the nursing homes. Make sure that the general public, unfortunately the family, cannot regularly visit their family. And to the employees of the nursing home, They just have to make sure that they are also taking extra precautions to ensure that they are not putting their clients at risk by also limiting their outdoor activities and or exposure, etc. Why can't we just have that? Why do they have to tell us lies and use fear to try to control you? Because if I'm not mistaken right now, what I'm hearing is don't be selfish, don't kill your grandpappy. So they are acknowledging that if you're young, this isn't really at risk for you. It's the elderly. So we need to scare you into submission and compliance. Don't kill grandpappy. But why are we destroying an entire economy and destroying civil liberties to do so? Eventually enough people are just going to stand up and say, you know what, we ain't having it. We've had enough. We want to fight for our freedom. We will assume the risk that comes with this virus and accept it and act responsibly, but give us our choice back. And the news doesn't want to show this. The government doesn't want you to know, but people all around the world are waking up, and you are seeing more and more events like this in the United Kingdom. So that's just the message for this video. I will do another one in response to Prime Minister Boris Johnson's actual statement that he'll make at this press conference. I hear he's running a little late, but I will respond to the precise warnings and or new guidelines he issues. But I just want to say, stand up for your rights, be free. And to my Americans out there, this can be coming back to us after Election Day. So it's very important that you make sure that your voice is heard, because if Joe Biden is perverted, and Kamala Harris are elected, we will see more of our freedoms infringed upon. We've already heard them say national mask mandate and also considering another national lockdown. Our liberties are at risk here. We really are at a crossroads in human society, in this world, between a prison planet and freedom. You know, propaganda, truth. We're at a crossroads, and we can make the decision to decide which path we want to choose. It's critical right now. Make sure your voices are heard, because again, as you can see, this is happening. This craziness is about to happen again. All right, so again, that's the video. I'll try to do another one in response to Prime Minister Boris Johnson's actual statement he'll be making right now at this press conference. All right, so everyone have a great day, and I shall talk to you later, and viva la revolution!